time. It's a Monday. The markets are still open. We're pretty close to the holidays. But you know what? Kids need more. Children need more. Whatever they have, they need more. Daddy, I got 27 presents last year and I want 28 this year. You're a horrible daddy. Hey, my kids aren't like that. But so we gotta earn and we gotta produce, don't we? I think the lazy people, they just go to the office, they make photocopies all day, and they're looking at the clock, and they're chit-chatting with their mom over, Amazon gift lists and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, we need to sell more lemonade, right? So here we are, really good to have you. Last week was a fantastic week. Did very well percentage-wise, money-wise, right? Moolah, more moolah is okay. And well, I don't know. Maybe the yen retracement that I've been talking about for 3 weeks. Maybe it did start on Friday, huh? So, did anyone attend the special event at FX Street? Right? It was supposed to be the Four Horsemen, but Ashraf Ladi canceled. Well, it was too bad. Boris Schlossberg was the first one to cancel. Well, that's bad. And then 3 minutes before the presentation, Todd Gordon canceled. Huh. There I was traveling for 5 days across multiple countries across the other side of the world, sitting in a third world country right next to a volcano. I made it. So, anyways, yeah, right? So, yeah, so there we were. And one of the major themes of the conversation on Friday was get ready. Even though the yen has been weak for 7 weeks in a row, get ready. It's going to get strong. And yeah, it's strong. Hey, just one quick thing before I move on to the intro and stuff. The system is showing me that you're looking at like I don't know, one currency pair. Do you see 6 different yen charts right now? All right, cool. Right on. All right. So I think there's another Adobe Air update that wants to ruin everything. So anyway, so that's good. So let's go through the disclaimer and stuff like that. I didn't have everything up. I guess I'm a little slow today. But welcome to Forex.Today. Let me remind you that trading is risky, not appropriate for everyone. Your past performance, good or bad, is not necessarily indicative of future results, but please always stay small, stay hungry, stay conservative. And never risk money you cannot afford to lose. My name is Wayne McDonell. I'm the Chief FX Market Strategist for TradersWay.com. I've been trading currencies for a very long time, and I am here today to help you succeed. Doing things like, hey, get ready, the yen's going to get super strong, and have that happen. Well, that's helpful. But really, I'm not here to make calls like that. I'm here to teach you so that you know and understand and learn and can do it for yourself and feed yourself, feed your family, live in a good neighborhood, buy yourself a nice watch, and all that kind of nonsense, right? So I do these sessions 7:30 in the morning, New York time, which is approximately London lunch. It's the middle of the day for trading, and that's why it's a good opportunity for us as a team, as a group, as right, to get together and collaborate so that we can help each other. That's the whole idea of Forex.Today. So I thank you for posting your trade plans on Forex.Today. Some of you reported that there was an error and you'd get like 12 updates about the same thing. Apparently that's been fixed. If not, you tell Uncle Wayne, and I'll yell and humiliate somebody on your behalf. Yeah. No, 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 no. That would be bad. But if you still have that problem, let me know. Okay. And so I need to play the happy music because I haven't been able to do that the last few days, traveling from third world country to fourth world country back to third world country. But anyways, did meet with government officials, did meet with central banks. It was all good. So, oh yeah, got to play the happy music. Let me get that. Hang on, I'm really slow. Haven't had a full night's sleep in over a week, actually. All right, here we go. So, welcome to Forex.Today. Hope everything's good with you and your trading. Last week was fantastic. The week before was fantastic. In fact, the last 5 weeks have been fantastic. And one thing I've been telling you is that it's all going to turn around. And if you did fantastic, it's not you, it's not your greatness, it's not, the sunshine coming down from heaven and enlightening your world. No, the market's going up, dude. So it's the market. So don't get caught up in anything. Stay small, stay humble, focus on the long term. Right? So what goes up must come down. That's true. We'll do some technical analysis. It is Monday. We need to go through the commitment of the traders report and stuff like that. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, lots of distractions. But all right, so yeah, what goes up must come down. And when can you possibly guess that a trend will change direction? Well, when you hit massive key levels of resistance. And going from memory, I believe last week we had a lot of key levels of resistance, weekly and monthly reversal pivots. Okay. But also there's this idea of humanity being behind this. It's not just all technical analysis, right? So where does a human get scared? Well, big psych levels is true, but also just, when a bunch of humans get together and organize, they create things like institutions and stuff, right? And calendars like, hey man, you go to the Caribbean, they don't even need a calendar. You don't need to know what time of day it is. You don't need to know what week it is. You don't need to know what month it is. Doesn't matter. It's amazing there, right? It's amazing. In the winter, it's like the same temperature, right? So, humans can live without the burden of time. You can live forever in the Caribbean, right? So we look at things and say, there's more to it than just pivots. There's things like taxation, to pay for these, institutions of ours, because we're social animals. We're just a bunch of guinea pigs running around with laptops, right? So we create these other rules, like when you have to pay your fair share of taxes, and when you're going to get your bonus and stuff like that. And we're kind of running into that now, right? That's a big part of my analysis is human nature, right? So with that in mind, we've been ready for these yens to get strong because the trend's been up for some weeks. And it's going to come down for probably 8 weeks. So maybe that process has started. But looking at where the pivots are this week, okay, you were probably wanting to buy at weekly M2 and have it go up to weekly M4. Is that correct? Based on my swing trading strategy that I've taught you? Right? And remember, by the way, you're supposed to either name a child after me for teaching you that, or donate money to a hospital and build like a new medical wing and name it after me. This is like the Wayne McDonell Children's Cancer Ward at whatever hospital from all the money you've made. Remember, social contract. That's how you pay it back. Right? But then what else is like a key thing going on? Well, we know, or we believe we know, or we think we know, yen will get strong, yen pairs will come down. And if that's true, what particular pivot point would you pay most attention to? In that case, if you were looking for reversals. M3. So we're looking to buy at M2 and we're looking to sell at M3. Or worried, at least, if the market reverses at M3, we have to take some serious notice, right? I mean, just like red alert, shields up, right? Cardassian ship decloaking off port bow, Captain. Right? I mean, those are just the big, simple rules that absolutely everybody here knows, right? We're supposed to know, right? There's not too many rules that I have, so there they are. So, before we jump into the fundies, let's just take a look at that. If I can find my mousey. Mouse, I've lost my mouse skills. Oh, yeah, Toby Air is so slow. All right, I might have to get my drawing tool out, but anyways. So, I guess I'm going to be here. All right, so it's down here. We'll start with Beast. Look at that. That's one of the key ones. If you're a bull, you need to freak out if you see it drop off the weekly M3, correct? I mean, you're looking for signs, right? You're looking at the stars. You're looking at the way that the tea leaves are floating in your cup. And you're thinking, man, that yen's going to get strong. I just know it. Yeah, is it only Ryan? Right? I mean, it could be anything. You're like, man, this taco doesn't taste good. I need to get out of my yens. I don't like the way that looks. I better get out of all my yen pairs, right? You're just, I mean, seriously, freaked out. Like it could happen any minute, any day, right? Like on Friday, I said it could happen today, or Monday, or even like right before Christmas, or New Year's. And if it doesn't happen right before New Year's, it's going to happen right after New Year's. But it's going to happen, right? Sure know what I'm talking about? So, anyways, that is a warning sign. Holy smokes. Like, if it went up to R1, it's not supposed to go up to R1. And then, in fact, if it was up there, even though R is resistance, it's still generally, because it broke above M3, it's generally speaking, should be a bullish week. At the very least, it'll be a sideways week, because the R1 as a top would predict consolidation, right? So, at the very least, you're like, oh, well, whew, at least, but that's the one. That's the one. And of course, the other one it would be the central, because really what I'm teaching you is it's this gray zone here. Let me just be precise. Okay. That gray zone is where you want to sell as a bear. So if it reverses there, you're supposed to take notice. Okay. And the buyers are down in here. So if you bought it, that's cool. But you should be like the ECB. You should expect less for longer. You imagine just waking up in the morning, you're like, yeah, I think I'll do less today. Welcome to the company, sir. We're really proud to have you as our new CEO. Would you please tell the troops what your plans are for 2017, how you're going to turn this company around? Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I am your new CEO, and I've decided to do less. It is in my great strategy and my great wisdom that I will do less but for the long term. I don't just come in and do less for a day or two. This is my long-term vision for this company. Less for longer. Yeah, must be an Italian company. Yeah, I mean, come on, like, you're like, but sir, we don't have any revenue. We don't have the factory stopped making products. People, stores not carrying our stuff anymore. Yeah, well, I would do something about that, but I think we should do even less. That'll work. Once they run out of stock, they'll have to buy from us again, right? I mean, oh my gosh. So there we are. That's the world we have to deal with. So with that in mind, hopefully I've painted a picture because it soothes the intellectual part of your brain. Now you could just listen, okay? Hopefully you're listening, right? So moving over to Kitty Cat, which is a commodity currency, a great bellwether for macroeconomics. Well, check that out. So if you had been shorting, right, whatever, this would be a good one. Very interesting that it's exactly, right? Look at all these wicks trying to get above. It tried for a little bit, down. Tried again, touch that pivot, down. Touch the pivot again, down. Touch the pivot again, down. I mean, it's 88.639, and that couldn't even close one candle above that, right? And then down, down, down this way. Huh. Could be a random walk, right, guys? Not this. Well, okay, Richard. You got to go back to your geometry, not center. So I think you're thinking the right thing, but when you say the center, that's the wrong answer. Okay, so not the center, the apex, which means the tip, not the center. Okay, because I think now you're talking the hypotenuse, and it would not be through the slope of the hypotenuse. It'd have to be through the apex. I know, I know, I know. But anyways, yeah. If by side if by side you meant apex, then yeah. See, now what you have to do is bring up apex in like 9 conversations this week. Okay. Ooh. No, so if it goes through the side of the slope, then that would be a fake out. If it continues moving into the apex, which is the convergence of at least 2 slopes, right? The point, then that should be legitimate. And if it's not, then at the very least you're in consolidation and you take a small win or a small loss or do whatever you need to do. Okay. All right, moving over here, it's not, right? It went further, or as they say in America, farther. It went more far. Okay. What is the projected top for the week if you're a bull? Let me just double check all this. Yeah. If you're a bull, where are you supposed to take profit? Yeah, the conservative one, right? Oh, well, this is M4 here. Now you say, well, Wayne, now you're just picking every line, every pivot point now because it's falling. Wayne, you're just telling me it's falling, but no, that's actually so. Last week, just what a great place for this to collide, right? You know what I want to do? I want to get rid of this. Um, if it be your will. Inshallah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, you're going to do that to me. Fine, fine. Hang on. I'm sick of these types of pivots for weekly. I use these for monthly. So I want to do a standard. Okay. Insert indicators, custom, FX Bootcamp pivot points history. False. I want to put this weekly. And save that template because I believe I messed up my template file somehow. That should be right. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, template. Save arse. No, in that case, Ryan asked about the old man easing into a hot bath. If it's a market reversal, the old man drowned. One more. Where is it? Monthly pivots, pivot clusters. Yeah, see, they're missing. I don't know what happened there. How weekly pivots? I'll have to do this one. Say. Yeah, so in that case, what's happening, Ryan, is the old man doesn't get out of the hot bath. Someone has to pull him out, and it's dead. He's dead, right? So what I mean by that is the reason the velocity of that type of reversal is so extreme is because it stops being hit. It's not people saying, I feel like I'm going to get out here. No, like I've been teaching you to be ready for this move because I know institutional investors are already planning it. So in that case, you should be more conservative, believing the near future is near. The near future is here. The future is near. That this could happen. That when you're up at reversal areas, you should jam your stop close. You see what I mean? Because that's what everyone else is doing. And then all of a sudden you wake up Monday morning and all the end pairs are down 300 pips. I'm like, yeah, well, that's what I told you. What, like, again, what more is needed, right? Same thing on the way up. I prepared everyone. It's going to go up. It's going to go up. It's going to go up all the way to the end of the year, and then it's going to collapse, right? So, in that, with that, armed with that knowledge, you have to do something, right? And so, in this case, when you're looking at the end of the week before Christmas, we're hitting the reversal zone, and it instantly does a 1, 2, 3 reversal pattern off of the actual target. Yeah, yeah. And then Friday is a big down day. Why? Because people are getting out and they're not even going to go to work this week, right? Like, how lame are we to work Christmas week? What's wrong with us? We must be addicted. Okay, but some people are like, all right, cash out of their $250 billion trade and then move on, right? Done for the year. So we never know when that's going to happen, but it's going to happen, kind of thing, right? Sure know what I'm talking about? Right? CYA, cover your ass. That's what's happening here. Got to get out of those trades. Okay, but the interesting thing, though, what I'm trying to point out is, you know, Out of all the major currencies, which currency pair has the highest yield differential? Right. So which one's going to bail? What's going to be the canary in the coal mine? If we were to guess. It's supposed to be bricks, Ryan. Right? But anyways, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, we don't know, but that makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, thinking about it a little bit, you're like, well, that's the highest yield, and that's the first mover. And it moved right off resistance last week, and no one bought it at M2, right? Right? Like, why didn't anybody buy it at M2, guys? Well, how would you explain this? Because I don't know any more information than you do. So if you were running a webinar in front of, dozens of experienced traders, how would you explain something like this? Well, maybe all the bulls have left the market. Maybe they got out on Friday and went on vacation. Would that be a reasonable assumption and expectation based on nothing but human nature? That these guys are done? That they waited for the Thursday on the third week of December. They cashed out on Thursday at the exact target for that week. But look, we hit the target the week before, and the week before, and the week before, right? And maybe these guys have made their millions, right? They're going to get a $10 million bonus because they hit their goal. So they're like, yeah, I think I'll just take Christmas week off, right? Like, right? WWYD. What would you do? Well, the thing is, you need to decide if that is the reversal I told you was coming. I mean, I flat out slapped everybody's face and said, get ready. It is coming. So you need to make a decision. Is that the sign? This little tidbit, like, if there were bulls, I think a reasonable expectation would be that they would have bought here. And when they didn't, I mean, you could have bought here and lost money today, and it's acceptable. What's not acceptable is you're still buying it and 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 buying it. Right? And then of course people say, why do you keep buying it? Like, Wayne told me to be short yen. It's Wayne's fault. He told me to do it. Hang on, I'm having trouble with something over here. Inshallah, inshallah, if it be your will. Let's see if we can get that going over there. All right. So, anyways, we don't have time for this, but I just wanted to put it out there, like, you do need to make decisions. And remember, you get paid to make decisions. You don't get paid to trade. Trade's easy. Any idiot can trade. Now, you might not be profitable, but I'm just trying to make a point where it's not really what you're being paid for, right? I think there was a study, and I can't remember who did this, but I think it's something that um, Jack Swager says in his presentations. He says that if you take, like, someone did a study where if you take a monkey, no joke, and you you sit them down at a computer and they slap the keyboard and stuff, they tend to trade better than an amateur trader. And his background is in numbers and stuff, so if he says it, it may possibly be true, because that's what he used to do, is analyze trading history to pick traders for funds and stuff, right? But he says, but then you take them and put the monkey next to someone who's a professional trader with at least 10 years of trading experience, and he does even better than that guy. Because the amateur trader can beat the professional. No, Credit Suisse, oy vey. Those guys are terrible. Or how about Morgan Stanley? They're like, buy it at a big number and sell it at some other big number. I mean, when you see an order from Morgan Stanley, you're not even entirely sure that they're like that. It's not just random. But but anyways, Yazil. Hey, I saw some good monkeys just the other day. It's great, right? Huge sign right next to the monkey eating. It says, "Do not feed monkeys." And there's this huge pile of like nicely sliced bell pepper. And I'm like, I know the monkey didn't grow that bell pepper. I know he didn't slice it. Somebody's been feeding the monkey. Yeah. Now, I know a South African would never do that. That's just wrong. Yeah, yeah. So they're all mad, like, these monkeys are a pest. They're just horrible. Yeah, the tourists like them, but they're just such a pest. They're everywhere. They're destroying everything. Well, I'm like, well, shoot them. But where I live, we have the same exact problem with deer. You know, you'd think, well, then just shoot the deer. Oh, no. You can't shoot a deer. That'd be morally and ethically wrong. I'm like, no, actually, humans used to shoot deer a lot. You know what the idiots in my town do? They pay, and I'm not joking, it's like $3,000 the government pays to capture the deer because they're on our golf courses and they come into our yards and eat our flowers. And of course, the flowers are from Home Depot, and the Home Depot guy sells you flowers. It's supposed to be growing in China. So now they're, if you just grew local flowers, it'd be fine. So, anyways, they pay $3,000 to capture the deer, put them on a truck, drive them 800 miles away, and drop them off. Where, of course, someone else is going to shoot them. Or the deer just walks back. Come on, it's a deer. Take them a week to get home. Yeah, good use of $3,000. Really, all you have to do is send out a hillbilly, right? Billy Bob goes out there with his rifle, which he carries with him everywhere, right? I'm like, I'll bet you $5 you can't shoot that deer from here. Boom, dead deer. Oh, here's the $5. Good job. Nice shot. Yeah, no joke. We capture our deer and put them through counseling. Okay. So, anyways, messing with this, I shouldn't be. So let's do the commitment of traders report. Now, we don't want you to feel like you're abandoned or unwelcome, but we would very much like it if you would leave and stop eating our flowers. Yeah, green meat stew. Yeah, yeah. Venison is fantastic, huh? Make venison hamburger? Nice. All right, so this goes back to the 12th of December. Very good. Good. Ish good, yeah. Yeah, well, that's why the Californians are very upset, right? Because they would take their Georgian deer, because in California they train their deer to vote for the Democratic Party. They were deer voting for Hillary Clinton in California. Yeah, yeah. All right. All right. So, anyways, what we're looking at here is the commitment of traders report, specifically for euro. What what we want to start with is find out if anybody is shorting. Okay. Is anybody shorting euro? Less and less and less people are shorting. Hmm. There were more short traders a few weeks ago than there are now. Less short. And then week over week, there's no change in bulls. So nobody is buying and less people are selling. Very interesting, isn't it? No one is buying and there are less people selling. So what's happened to volume? Less volume, but now think of the psychology of it, right? Remember, it's always about human nature. So there's less people selling, nobody buying. So the euro goes up, doesn't it? At some point. Nobody buying the euro, less sellers. But anyways, and then the net here, you can see it's just less bearish. Okay. Okay. So we'll just have to pay attention to that. As as a long-term bear on this, what have I told you to do in a scenario like this? We've had many opportunities in the last 2 years to see similar situations where there's, you know, more less of one thing and no change in another thing. Well, in this case, when the market bears and no change in bulls, what I've taught you is to look for resistance and sell. Okay, because bears are going to get back in, right? So you don't buy it. Ryan's very clear here, right? Good job. You definitely don't buy it. All you do is look for strong levels of resistance to sell. Okay. And I think, like, if you looked at the weekly central pivot point above and shorted today, or if you'd looked at the daily 21 and shorted, only because you know you can't buy. I mean, think of it. How much easier is your trading where you wake up and you're like, well, I know I can't buy. I mean, there's one thing's clear for sure. I just can't buy it. Where an amateur's like, I don't know what's going on. Should I buy it or sell it? Well, first of all, you're already wrong. Take out a $20 bill and set it on fire. I think that would be better. Some people say, oh, I can't trade on I can't learn on a demo account. It has to be real money. All right, you want a learning experience? Open a demo account and take a pile of cash. And by the way, I'm not joking. Whatever amount of money makes it emotional for you. I mean, so that you treat it like it's real duress. I don't know if it's $1 at a time, $5 at a time, $20 at a time, $100 at a time. But if you want real emotion, and I'm not joking here, open up the demo account, great. And when you lose money, take that bill. Let's say it's a $5 bill, and light it on fire. Really light it on fire. Hold it up in front of you. I want you to smell the burning money. The flame should light up your office, and it should stink. The place should stink for a week, right? And put it down into an ashtray and just watch it kind of curl up and turn all black and crispy, and it's gone now. Completely worthless because you did some stupid trade. How long do you think you'll keep doing it? Your spouse is coming in. What the hell is that smell? Shut your mouth, Mom. Yeah, well, yeah, that's right. It is unconstitutional. So how long do you want to do it? Right? Yeah. Mom. Right? And then do another stupid trade. Pull out the money. Burn it. Because you know, with these smaller accounts, you have no problem losing the money. You're like, yeah, well, whatever. It was only $100. I lost it. Took me, 5 or 6 trades. Lost $100. But that's how it goes. It's not a problem. It's true, right? You're like, well, it's only $100. Good thing it wasn't 10,000. Oh, right? For some reason, it's okay. But I bet you're not even willing to do that. You can throw away $5 online. It's cool. It doesn't matter. But you're not willing to burn money in front of you to say, hey, you made a stupid trade. That was dumb. What was your analysis there? It felt good. Why did you do that? I don't know. I did it, but I don't know why. Why'd you buy it there? I don't know. Didn't you see the higher high? Yeah, but I mean, that's the problem, right? It's just too easy and too relaxed and too cool. You can get the other one where you get your spouse, and you probably already do this, right? Have your spouse get out the whip, stand behind you. And every time you lose money, right? Every time you lose money, got to be punished. Wait, actually, that wouldn't work, right? Actually, you'd probably love that. So, no. But there's got to be an emotional response. I'm telling you, there needs to be an emotional response. Just watching you burn money in front of yourself, just you will stop. You will change your behavior. Right? Every time you do a stupid, every time you do a losing trade, you throw a frog against a brick wall in front of your children. Daddy! Huh? Another bad trade. Reach in, grab another toad. Daddy! Yeah, by the way, if you ever eat seahorse soup, do not send pictures to your children. Yeah, big learning experience. But I'm telling you, you need to be horrified that you did a stupid trade. Yeah, totally. You're like, I just can't do this anymore. I just have to stop. I'm ruining my children because I'm chasing price. I'm ruining my children's future because I didn't sell it resistance. Why the hell did I sell it support? It should be devastating, right? You know what I mean? It's just too easy and too comfortable to lose money. You're like, yeah, well, maybe I'll just buy that options trading course. Right? Yeah, I'll sell prepaid phone cards through a multi-level marketing program, and I'll become a millionaire that way. Dude, if you can't do it with Forex, you're not going to do it. I'm telling you, it's done. I mean, Forex is that important. You need to get your ass together. All right, I meant to say act, but I guess that's good too. You need to get your act together and realize that you have the opportunity of your life in front of you. If you screw this up, there is nothing else. I used to review business plans for a job. I've raised millions of dollars for other people. I've looked at thousands of business plans. You screw this up, there isn't anything else. There is, that's it, right? So yeah, you need to get emotional about it, get your act together, and fix it. Because if you didn't make money in the last 5 or 6 weeks, you got some serious problems because I teed the ball up for you. And now that it's crashing, I teed that ball up for you. Like, what more do you want me to do except trade your money for you? But you don't have enough money for me to trade, so I don't want your money. I'm not even selling you anything. Why am I here? Because I want you to succeed. So you got to get in the game, right? Realize that it is a lifetime opportunity. And your parents, your father, your mother, whoever before you never had this opportunity. It's not like your dad said, "Yeah, I want to be a retail Forex trader." No, there wasn't anything then. It's there, right there. You watch it every day. You can see the success and the opportunities, right? Like, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on? So remember, it was only 2 weeks ago. I'm like, you need to do a business planning retreat with yourself. Covered it for 45 minutes. Why? Gave you my own personal life stories. Stuff that I actually did because I did stuff like say to myself, oh my God, I have to do whatever it takes. And I am going to go make a business plan. I'm going to do years of pro forma cash flow statements. And I walked out with minimal acceptable performance. I walked out with a whole different outlook on risk. I walked out a man of success, not a man of dreams. And I'm a dreamer, baby. I'm a dreamer. I'm an entrepreneur's entrepreneur. But this is business. You get to the guys at the top, they're not entrepreneurs. You know what they are? They're nerds. They're bean counters. It's all about probability. It's all about return. If it's not guaranteed money, they're not going to do it. Unless you're Credit Suisse, and then, right? Yeah. Yeah, Dre says yeah, so if you're in the United States of America, yes, absolutely it does, Dre. Boom, 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 boom. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah. Blum, 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 blum. Oh, well, forget it. No. Yeah, ATL, absolutely. And I can refer you to an attorney that specializes in that. In Atlanta, Midtown, if it's easy for you, right? Great office, great guys. But yes, because the taxation is fantastic in the United States for Forex. I mean, there's nothing better. There's nothing better. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh, right? Yeah. So, yeah. In fact, Dre, you know what I can do? I'll go back to the Caribbean and we'll hold a Forex conference. It's going to cost you $25,000, but that's a tax write-off. Yeah. Uh-oh, Russian unemployment rate just came out, 5.4. Hey, like I always say, huh, better than France. Yeah, if you want, Dre, email me, send me an email to wayne@fxbootcamp.com. I'll take care of you. All right, let's see. So we got to go through this quick. I'm sorry. I'm just watching everything come down. Like the dollar's just gorgeous, huh? Just gorgeous. Gorgeous. Copper coming down hard. U.S. dollar going up strong. S&P 500 neutral. Ask me later about oil before I pull the plug. I'm running out of time here. But pig, right? Less bears. See, I'm looking at this here. Won't highlight. All right. So, anyways, less people short, less people long. Market is still net short, Great British Pound, but less people buying, less people selling. But if you look at the net, which is the black line's up, which means there's less people selling and less people buying, but there's more or less there's more or less short than there are less long, which is slightly up. So last week, if you were watching a rally up into the, okay, imagine this in your mind. Okay, let's just do pig dollar, okay? Pound dollar. In your mind, you're a bear, and price has been falling. It reverses at the monthly R1, not just a drop off of the monthly R1, a double top at a monthly R1. Okay? Can you vision the double top at a monthly R1? Price then drops down below the neckline, if you will, the previous support, and makes a new lower low. If you were a bear on pound dollar now, what's your next move? Yeah. Okay. What's your next move? Double top at obvious resistance, long-term charts, followed by a lower low. What is the next move in your strategy? Hammock, exactly. Sell, but don't tell me sell. Don't tell me sell. No, that's the wrong answer. You sell off a lower low, you lose money. What's the real answer? Sell a retracement or a rally or a hammock, pullback, all acceptable answers. So let's say a pullback to the 4-hour 21. The 21 is below the 55. And price retraces back to the 4-hour 21 and clearly respects it. Well, that's what just occurred over the last 3 hours. Actually, 6 or 7 hours. 7 hours ago, very clearly we're rejected off the 4-hour 21, below the 55, below the weekly central, on a retracement after a lower low, after a double top at the R1 monthly pivot point. Like, what more is needed? Pound dollar. If I moved it, you would look at it. So I just said, imagine it. You should be able to see this with your mind. A double top and a monthly reversal pivot. So you're thinking, okay, so it's going up, hits that, then makes a lower low. So now I need to sell a retracement, which would be a lower high at or near a roll reversal, which it did, by the way. Maybe near a psychological level, maybe near a weekly pivot point. How about, like, I don't know, central pivot point? Putting all that together, somewhere in that area of 125.00000. By the way, is 125.00000000000 a reasonable psychological level? 1.2500. I mean, if you were just to guess, I don't know, just make up a number. Oh, 125.00 on the chart. Maybe that'll be it. Oh, look, it's the 4-hour 21. Oh, look, just above that's the weekly central pivot point. Oh, that's interesting because it's Fibonacci retracement off the, the double top, lower low scenario. Seems to be about a 3A too. Huh. All of this could be very important. Cool thing is I'm already a bear. I bet you if you didn't see that, you didn't look at your long-term charts first. Right? I'm talking 4 hour. If you look at your 4 hour and if you look at your daily, okay, 4 hour daily only, pound dollar, look at it on your own time. Look at weekly and monthly pivot points and just say, holy crap, I didn't see that. And then more importantly, because you know, more importantly than an emotional response, which isn't going to help, right? Feeling bad about yourself and feeling unconfident about yourself is not the whole point of this. What you're supposed to do is change your behavior and just say, that's it. I get it. It just hit me like a ton of bricks, a slap in the face. I totally get it. I've heard Wayne say it 100,000 times, but it just hit me lightning bolts. I need to start on my 4 hour and daily, look at the long-term trend, look at the key areas of support and resistance. And when we're in those zones, I create trade plans based on technical analysis on the smaller time frames. Boom, change your behavior. Okay. And by the way, most people can't do it. So if you want to be a financial success trading currencies, just do what other people can't do. Just change your behavior. You're smart enough, right? You're like, Wayne, I'm pretty good at technical analysis. Good. Hey, Wayne, I'm getting better at fundamentals and I'm doing the work. I'm studying things, right? I'm looking at central banking websites and stuff. I'm starting to read these reports. It's getting, it's getting there. I'm getting there. It's yeah. Kind of thing. You're like, I think I'm improving. And that's how you build your confidence. By changing your behavior, not because you were, predestined for glory, right? Right? Big drop for the yens. So that hasn't changed yet. Get ready. The next COT data could be significantly different, huh? So let's just go into here. Well, yeah, but Rob, even if it was $1, right? So you lose money in a demo account. And you're like, oh, I lost money. I guess I'll try this other thing. Oh, I think I'll try this other thing. Oh, well, I traded this crossover on the 15, but I forgot about the 4 hours. So, oh well. But I'm telling you, even if it was a $1 bill, I don't know if a euro would burn. It would just melt or something. You'd probably asphyxiate. But if it was a US dollar, the number one ingredient is Levi's jeans. Right? So anyways, take $1, light that, just so you see the flame, the bright light, the smell of the burning money, and sort of like the stupidity of it. Like, this is ridiculous. What have I resorted to? Like, what am I doing? And then you change your behavior. Because you're like, no, this is not cool anymore. This, every time I do this, it's like retarded. Good. Well, right? Then change your behavior. Stop doing stupid trades. Stop doing losing trades. Buy at support in an uptrend, right? Sell at resistance in a downtrend, and all of a sudden you change your behavior changes, right? On the weekend, make sure you spend at least 3 hours on various central banking websites. Wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning. Your children will do it. Hey, when you were a kid, you woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning, maybe even 4 o'clock in the morning, to watch cartoons. Did anybody do that? Saturday morning, 4 a.m., WWF, right? You're like, oh my God, Hulk Hogan versus the Gravedigger. I grew up in Canada. It was like the Iron Sheik and the British Bulldogs, right? Roddy Piper, I think his name was, right? Right? They didn't have TV for Brazil. So, right? You're like 4 o'clock in the morning, Saturday, you're just fired up, right? Now I'm like, why don't you wake up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get a tea or a coffee, sit down, and go through various central banking websites. Yeah, Wayne, that's very inconvenient for me. I'd like to just be a millionaire, like without having to make a sacrifice like that. Like get up early on a Saturday. That means I can't go drinking on Friday nights. Yeah, that's right. You should be like a monk. You should live in a closet somewhere. You and a laptop. Let me out. Let me out. I need to stretch my legs. Make me 100 pips. You want out of the closet? Make me 100 pips. Mom! Right? Yeah, tough love, right? But why don't you do that for yourself? I'm telling you, if you ever sleep in a bathtub, you will change your behavior. So I don't know. We're at the end of the year, guys, and these moves I gave you weeks to prepare for. So like I don't know, I would just freak out in a good way. I'd freak out like that. That's it. I'm losing this, right? You're like, I have the opportunity of a lifetime in front of me. You know it's worth $5 trillion a day. You're like, come on, right? And you can see it every day. You're like, this is totally plausible. Wayne set me up weeks in advance and explaining it to me why, so that I understand. And like, but I'm not getting it. I'm missing it. I'm like, I would just like, I don't know, like burn your bridges, right? Do you remember Cortez, who took over the entire Mexican population of millions of people? And he only had like 22 guys, a cannon, and 12 horses. Do you know how Cortez did it? Besides being completely ruthless and completely lucky, because they brought smallpox with them, which was a pretty good thing. But what else? They unloaded the ships. It was 3 ships. They unloaded the men, the provisions, the horses, the cannon. And then what did Cortez do? Type in a question mark if you want to know. He scuttled the ships. He set them ablaze, burned them, and they sank into the sea. He said, all right, boys, you got 2 choices. If we get home, we're going home with riches, having conquered the Aztec empire of millions of people, right? The 24 of us. Or we all die. But there's no way home except victory. So when are you going to scuttle your ships? You're like, that's serious. There's no retreat. There's no out. You can't just blow up another demo account and then go buy an options trading course or go on you get your real estate license. Don't you just love the views and the closet spaces to die for? Please buy this house. I mean, come on. Kirby vacuum. John, man. John's been around. That is funny. So, right? You got to get in the game, and there is no excuse. There's no out. Now that you know, I'm telling you, it could be 15 years from now, and you'll be sitting somewhere, and you'll be thinking about me. You'll be missing my voice, and you'll kick yourself because you say, I had it in front of me, and I wasn't willing to do what it takes. It was too hard. I'm telling you, it will bother you. Remember that little, remember the Wrath of Khan, where he puts that little bug in people's ears and goes into their brain? That's me. I hope someone understands what that story was. I think it was the Wrath of Khan, like 1981, man. I think I saw that and Flash Gordon. Yeah. So, anyways, you got to get in the game, man. I mean, I'm telling you, this was a love speech, not a hate speech. But you got to fight for it, right? So again, gray falling are buyers. Look how significant things have changed for Aussie. Less buyers, 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 less buyers. Okay. But then again, look at that. Less bears, 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 less bears. Huh. But net it out, and it is neutral. It's technically still bullish because here's the zero line. Okay, so you can say, well, the market is still net long, but the change of rate, if you will, or change of direction is down. So the market's long, but volume is falling. We're losing bulls, but it's bullish. Okay. And no surprise, let's do Kiwi. Inshallah, inshallah, if you. Okay, longs, a little bit long, a little bit more longs, little bit more bears. Wow. How many other currency pairs do we see an uptick in bulls and an uptick in bears? None. Ooh. But believe it or not, the market is net bearish, but close enough to call neutral. So it's up, it's long, and neutral. Woo-hoo-hoo. What? It's up, and each tick here is a week. Okay, check all of this out. It's up, but actually falling. It's up, but technically net short. How does that make you feel? Technically, price has gone up a lot in the last several weeks, but also technically speaking, technically fundamentally, so technically it's been up for several weeks, but fundamentally it's been down. Ooh. Whoa. How do you feel about that, guys? You feel confident in that up? Okay. Look at the gray line. Over the course of the last 5 weeks, there's actually less bulls, but it's going up. So what do you need? How about some hardcore resistance somewhere, right? Why did pull order? Oh, well, yeah, you're talking more, yeah, like the flow trader. Yeah, you know, especially the old floor guys, right? They were doing it to really to get you to like imagine you have $1 billion. Do we even have to talk? Is money that important? I guess money is important. If you have a lot of money, let's just put it that way. You have a lot of money. If you and you want to buy, you need somebody to sell you something, right? Now, do you want to buy in an uptrend or do you want to buy in a downtrend? So why would somebody sell you something if the market's appreciating? So you kind of need to do what you can to get people, convince people, if you will, to you something that you believe is going to go up. But they also think it's going to go up. So you kind of have to influence them, right? Blue Horseshoe loves Caldecott steel. There's one way of doing it, the Blue Horseshoe move. Or you could throw down a whole bunch of orders, assuming that someone else is going to see the orders, like a working order. I got to be careful there. Hang on. Okay. Let's say, how about this? Let's say I want to buy the weekly M1. Okay. But let's say, let's do it. Let's modify. I don't want to buy one standard lot down here. No, come on. This Adobe thing is just driving me nuts. I don't know. All right, so something's messing with me. So let's put it this way, and I better cancel this while I'm thinking about it. All right, I don't know. Something's freezing me. It's stupid Adobe. But imagine now, instead of one standard lot, it was 1 million standard lots, and other traders could see it. They're like, "Wow." Let's try this again. They're like, "Wow, down there, right around 87, there's a weekly M1 and a billion orders. Holy smokes." So people could sell into that or whatever. So, and then you could set up an algorithm, of course, just to say when you get within a half a pip, okay? Now, why would you do that? Why would you do something like that? Because maybe you're short up here. You see what I mean? Or down here you're long and you want the market to go up, but you bought it down here. Right, well, now I really got to back out. Right, you bought it and you don't want to get out. So let's say you're in on this gray zone. You don't want it to get out. You want this to support to hold because if this support holds, you're out of the trade, but you want it to keep going up. So why don't you put $1 billion position waiting down here at 8700? There's a so that everyone sees that if it comes down to 8700, there's $1 billion buyer. So, that kind of thing, and you're trying to influence people's decisions. Hey, the Dukes are cornering the market on frozen concentrated orange juice. Let's get in. That kind of thing, right? Somebody knows something. Oh, don't look at that. All right. So, anyways, so somebody knows something. That kind of thing. That's why you do that. But all right. So we'll do more technicals tomorrow, and all that kind of stuff. So thanks for being here on a wonderful oil Monday morning and all that. Yeah. People, you guys want me to look at oil? I mean, you're the boss. I'm just your. We'll do this chart. I'm just your humble servant. And it's funny the avatar I put up there, huh? It was the Dukes. It was the Dukes. Oy vey. Nah, it's not working, guys. My stupid Adobe and wanted it to update, and I said no, but I got to make sure I don't have working orders in the market. All right, well, it finally did open. So, 4 hour. Okay. It's funny, I got so used to my laptop. All right, so last week we hit the 55 psychological level, right? You know I'm a bear. You already know that. Down, 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 up, up, sell, down, 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 down. What's going to happen after a down, 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 and up, up? So I'm trying to, there's so many fibs I got going on here. Oh, no wonder. Oh, it's only 15-minute chart. Okay. By the way, 618 to 1618, not too bad of a move. It actually went to the 200. So that was a good fib, man. All the way to the 200. That's good. Okay. And then that one, got to get rid of that. So that's less confusing. Okay. Fibbo, delete. Fibbo, delete. Out of here. How many Fibbos do I have going? Fibbo, delete. Fibbo, delete. Finally. All right. So now what I'm trying to say is, okay, we got the first move on this. The second one now, you got to fib this way if you're a bear, right? What you're trying to do is set up like a head and shoulders type thing. What do you think? Is it a coincidence that our top on the Monday, the high is 618 at 53.55? Right? Probably a three-wave correction to go on top of it, right? Right? I don't think that's a coincidence at all. 53.60. Look at that, huh? Trying to get this. I mean, look at. I mean, it's ridiculous, obvious, straightforward. I mean, look at. So, is it possible to have woken up this morning as a bear without even looking at your charts? Looks like oil went up on Friday. Right? Was I a bear on Friday? Yes. When I did the special event at FX Street, what did I say about oil? I talked about oil for what, 20 minutes? Maybe longer, and I gave detailed fundamental reasons. Friday, that same day it was bullish. You think I felt like I might look like an idiot? See, I'm 100% sure I'm right because I made a decision. Now, I might not make money, right? Maybe I'm wrong and it loses money, but in my mind, I know exactly what I'm doing because I did the analysis and I've made an opinion. I've made a decision, and all my decision is you don't buy it when it goes up, and you look for places to sell it so that you can make it head back down. Look at that, just like a ridiculous 618. So what am I thinking now? Okay, I'm thinking 1382, right? But look at this, guys. I already did this for you last week. We set this up with a top. We set this up on my laptop. If you remember, I have a yellow zone here. Then it went lower low, lower high. That was another sell. But you remember the target for all of this? It's this area. I've highlighted it here for you, right? You know what's amazing about that? Right? I did it the week before last week when I said it would go up. because OPEC would do a deal, but as soon as it's going to go up to resistance and it's all going to collapse. And it's doing it, right? So if you do Elliott wave, they would call that a 3-wave correction, right? So I believe an Elliott waiver would have sold it there as well on the three-wave correction idea. But don't quote me on that, son. I ain't no Elliott waiver. So anyways, it's doing what it's supposed to do. As far as I'm concerned, that's what it's supposed to do. Not a surprise, not a shock. And we did, again, talk about it 2 weeks ago, that it would behave this way. Cool. Right on. Could be a very interesting week of trading, huh? Yeah. Well, I'm excited about the upcoming few days before we get into the holidays. The holidays, D-A-Z-E, right? But there's still some trading in there. I still feel some blood in the water. I'm excited about you in 2017. I hope you do things like have business planning retreats with yourself. I hope you do like walk on coals for this opportunity. Whatever it takes. I hope you have like an urge now. You're thirsty for it. I was so thirsty the other day yesterday, having traveling so much from middle of the earth all the way back home, and I was so thirsty it was like pain. But that's what it should be like for you. Like, if I don't get a glass of pips soon, I'm going to freak out. Right? Like, it's serious time. Right? Game over. It's time, and use the end of the year as something emotionally and psychologically a turning point where you're like, that's it. Things are changing. I know it. I got everything I need emotionally to commit, and 2017 is the year I get this done. You know? All in. Just all in. Right? If you have a favorite TV show, watch it, right? Watch it on Netflix next year. If you have a golf club membership that you like to golf regularly with your buddies, cancel your membership. If you restore an old car in your garage as a hobby, sell it. Put the money in your trading account. Right? It's true. Yeah. I'm mentoring someone, and she says, well, Wayne, my friends say this, this, and this, and this. How would you respond? I said, you should get new friends. I'm not joking. You have the wrong friends. They're not helping you. Get rid of them. They're in your way. Get rid of them. You're not going to need them where you're going. Because you're going to move. You're going to get a bigger house in a nicer neighborhood. They're going to be far, far away from your friends, and they'll replace you in a heartbeat because they're not your friends. I can tell. So, anyways, I got to run, babe. Life's moving. Got to keep up. So, peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. And this is a great week. Last week was fantastic. The week before was fantastic. Just ridiculous returns. So I'm excited to not lose any of it. So we'll have to walk softly together this upcoming week, and prepare you for greatness. Well, I could take the rest of the week off and just go on vacation. Well, of course, I guess I could have done this the last week. When I was in the Caribbean, I could have just taken that week off. And then I could have just said, oh, well, it's Christmas. No one wants to trade on Christmas. Oh, the market's going to be dead. I'll just take the week off. I don't take time off, guys. Why? Because this is too good. And it's too easy. You got a laptop. You got a cell phone and a laptop. If you do go away, Doesn't have to be vacation. Wake up, make money before your spouse is even out of the shower, right? You're up 3-4 hours early, make some trades, get some positions on, check your other positions, move some stops. When everyone starts waking up and they're like, oh, it's going to be a good day today, you're like, you know what? It's already been a great day today. Right? It's already been a great day. Let's go make it greater. So thank you for being on my team. I'll see you tomorrow, huh, guys? Peace on earth. May the pips be with you. May your profits be above average. Shadowfay.